Tonight as well, I've just done a video on Usyk Dubois 2 for the undisputed heavyweight title. It's now the UFC Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3 for the BMF title. I think it's UFC 318, I believe so. Tell me if I'm wrong, it's rather 17, 18. What was that? That was 16. It's 18. It is 18. I've got all the numbered cards around me here. You can see that. But yeah, it is 18, 318. I mean, this is Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. It's the last dance. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm sad. I think all you guys, as a hardcore UFC fan, it's sad to see Dustin go, but man, has he had an amazing career. And let's talk about it. So, the main event, Max Holloway v Dustin Poirier 3 for the BMF title. It is a 5-rounder. You know, Dustin's already beat Max 2 times, you know. Submitted him in the second round or first round years ago when they were like in their 20s. And then in 2019, I'm pretty sure it was, or 18, the rematch. And the rematch is right there. Rematch, what was the card was that? 236. So that just proves how long ago well, this trilogy's gone on for over a decade, you know. This is a great fight. It's a great matchup. And like I said, yeah, that was for the interim lightweight belt. Dustin Poirier won that, got unanimous decision, and now it is obviously the trilogy tonight. Now let's talk about how the fighters have been since, you know. Max has been very good, you know, recently. I would say obviously both are on a losing streak of only one. They've lost their last fight. But prior to that, Max obviously beat Justin Gaethje, incredible. That he moved up for the BMF belt at UFC 300 and beat Gaethje. That was amazing with a 5th round knockout. Legit knocked him out in the last second of the fight. Stood toe to toe and just swung for it. Then obviously prior to that, beat Korean Zombie, TKO'd him, Arnold Allen. So that was a great win streak. So Max is 3-1 in his last 4 fights. Dustin Poirier being a bit more inconsistent. So obviously he lost to Islam, beat Benoit Saint Denis, but then he lost to, you know, Justin Gaethje for the BMF. Dustin's fought for the BMF twice now, well, going to. But yeah, he's been in his last 3, he's been a bit inconsistent. It's been a bit here, there. But Dustin's always game, you know. Dustin, every time he gets in that cage, you know it's going to be a war. You know you're either going to see him get put to sleep or the other person put to sleep. How do I think this fight's going to play out? I really don't know. Because, you know, if MMA math on paper is right, Dustin should win. Dustin's got 2 wins against him. But this time around, I personally think it is the perfect time for Max Holloway to get a win against Dustin Poirier. Obviously, Dustin being older is the last one. Max is now a lightweight. He's not a featherweight. He's not cutting weight. The rematch was short notice, to be fair. It weren't a long camp he could have. He was a featherweight. He was the featherweight champion at the time. So I personally think that Max Holloway can win this one. I don't think he's going to get a KO. I personally don't. I don't think Dustin Poirier is time to... I mean, I don't know. This fight, I will be honest, if this video is a bit rubbish, it's one of these fights where you don't know who's going to win and all that. I'm so excited for it. But yeah, I think Max, yeah, he does carry more power now being at lightweight. Obviously at 300, he put Justin Gaethje to sleep. That was incredible. Never expected that. Dustin Poirier has power. They both have power. Max more volume fighter. I think Max will probably get the win on a decision. But at the same time, if Dustin Poirier gets a decision win, I'm not surprised either. You know, it's just one of those fights where it's like, who's going to do the more work? And I think this time around, I think Max Holloway is going to do the more work. So yeah, I'm going Max Holloway with a decision. But I mean, Dustin Poirier, I'll do a separate video on his career. We'll get more into the card. I'm going to cover just some of the main card and that. So the co-main event, I'm pretty sure, is Paulo Costa v Roman Kopylov. Paulo Costa's rubbish. Shouldn't even be in the top 15. As much as I do like him, I think he's a brilliant character in the sport. You know, his secret juice and all that. I think he's funny as hell. But Roman Kopylov, yeah, he's a problem. You know, he's got that style. He's got that style where his striking style, shall I say, is power, but it's also precision. You know, he's got the speed. He's got everything like that. It mixes him really well. He's a very good kickboxer. I'm pretty sure his background is Sambo. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm going with Roman Kopylov on that one. I think Paulo Costa's past, well, he hasn't, he's barely fought, and he hasn't got a win over anyone in the UFC now. His best wins, what? Johnny Hendricks, who's not a middleweight. Romero, okay, Romero's a good win, all right, at the time. And then washed down Luke Rockhold. So the only good win he's got is Romero. And yeah, we're not counting Luke Rockhold, because Luke Rockhold actually put up a good fight against him. But yeah, we're going with Roman Kopylov. I'm probably going to say another decision. I'll be honest. The next fight down the card, we've got Dan Ige versus Mauricio Pitbull. Pitbull looked rubbish in his debut against Yair Rodriguez, and Dan Ige is really weird. He's really good, but then he can't get a win over a ranked guy. He always get wins under unranked guys. So, once again, if MMA maths is working here, Dan Ige should win against the unranked guy. I mean, he's beaten so many unranked guys who are on the come up, it's ridiculous, but can't get a win against someone further than him, if you know what I'm saying. But I think Dan Ige can win this one. I think Mauricio Pitbull has left it too long to join the UFC. He's late 30s. He could even be early 40s. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I think Dan Ige could even get a finish here. I really rate Dan Ige. Dan Ige is so underrated. He's got so many good wins on his resume. And yeah, I think he's going to pick up another one here. And then I'm probably going to get one fight missing on here, but the one that comes to my head, I'm doing all this off my head. That's how I roll. Kevin Holland v Daniel Rodriguez at welterweight. Now, Kevin Holland, ever since staying at welterweight, he's been doing really good. He's lost to the current champ in a split decision. He's lost to Wonder Boy, but had a striking matchup with Wonder Boy. Well, it's not the greatest idea, to be fair. And Hamzat, when Hamzat was welterweight, but that was at a catchweight as well. And yeah, I think that's really all. Oh, and he lost to MVP. So they're not bad losses at all, especially when you had a split decision with the current champion in Jack Della Maddalena. But yeah, I think that Kevin Holland should win. I think he should knock Daniel Rodriguez out. Daniel Rodriguez was good in 2020, 2021, that time around. But every big test Rodriguez has gone against, he's failed. He lost to Neil Magny, barely got a win against Li Jingliang, the Leech. And yeah, I'm going with Kevin Holland with a second round KO. Now, that's the card all sorted. Let me know what you guys think. It's been a bit of a long video. Hopefully you guys stayed to the end. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know who's going to win between Max and Poirier. I don't care who wins. The best outcome for me is that it's a draw. I don't want to see any of them lose. Because, if a quick one before, I know this has been a lengthy video, but if Dustin wins, it's kind of a bit not bad, but also bad. If Dustin wins, he's retiring. He's gone off in the sunset. He's retired, great victory win. But then that leaves Max Holloway as... Max Holloway has now lost 2, and the guy he's losing to is retired now. So it's like, where do we put Max? And then Max is not really a contender, but then he is. It's weird, but regardless, I won't get much into that. Enjoy the show, like, subscribe, all that business. I'll catch you in a bit.